Hear the story of my life, heartaches and pain, weeping at night and laughing at dawn.
Sharing my joy, victories and hope. A brighter day has come. It's for you and for me.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Jessica Kayanja show. This is season 2. We bring you real life stories of people who have weathered the storms of life and would like to share their pain, their triumphs, their victories with you. And today's topic, drug addiction, being an alcoholic, substance abuse, you name it, anything that will take you to the rehab. This young, brilliant man is here to share his story with you, his journey through it all. Allow me to welcome our guest today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
We are honored to have you on this show.
I'm also honored to be here.
Can you please tell the viewers your name?
I'm Jamesboy imani Amanyire. I'm Toro by tribe, Ugandan. My mom is Rwandese. I'm Kenyan born, and I've studied in Kenya my primary level, came to Uganda in my high school, and I also completed my university here, though by correspondence. So by profession, I'm a software engineer. But by calling, I'm a pastor, because I recently graduated in pastoral ministry.
Wow,
Yes.
it's such a blessing to hear that.
Yes, yes.
You know, that is the tip of it.
Yes.
And you started at what should have been the climax of the story,
Exactly.
becoming a pastor.
Yes.
I just want you to tell us a little bit about your background.
My background.
Your parents,
Yes.
what type of family was it? Was it
Yes.
a Christian family?
Yes.
And we can take it from there.
All right. My family, it was a Christian family, but strict, Seventh-day Adventist background from our grandmother. And I grew up, I would say, average, because I attended good schools in Kenya. I studied, though I went to so many schools. That was, I believe those are part of the reasons that disorganized my life. I went to so many schools because in Kenya my dad was doing teaching. So each school he would move to, I moved with him. So sometimes I would spend in school 2 terms, then shift, 2 terms, then shift. So there are so many.
Why
Yeah.
were you moving with him?
I think I was his, maybe like his handbag, because I believe he just wanted to watch over me.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe in childhood, he was a very close figure to me. He used to guide me. He was always there.
Wow.
But something else to note, as a child, I had asthma, because at 4 years, according to what I'm told, I fell from the flat we were living in and I hit my chest. So from then I used to have a problem with asthma and I needed close monitoring. So I'm sure he wanted to be around.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever I used to get attacks, he gives me the inhaler, and sometimes I'm rushed to hospital. That's another testimony for another day, because I was also a sickler, because
Wow.
yeah, Kenyatta Hospital, they were used to me, they even used to reserve that bed.
Wow.
Each week I had
For
to
your
come.
asthmatic attacks?
Yes, they were that often.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had a supervisory father.
Yes.
And what about your mother? Was she
My mother-
as much in your life as
Yes, she was also in my life, and she played the, I think it reached a time she became more of a housewife, just to take care of us. And I would say life was good, and the family was very organized, because we had our father and mother with my 3 other siblings. Actually, one of them is your namesake, the one who follows me. Yeah, she's called Jessica. And then after that, yeah, there's Maureen and Felix.
Oh, wow. Beautiful name.
Yes. So I think I was so organized. Then the change of life later on is what caused the problem. Because later, my dad's family realized we've stayed abroad for long. My mom and my dad met there. So they wanted to find a way to bring my dad this side. So my uncle brought this idea of me coming this side. So he brought me by himself. So after primary school, I came here during the December holiday season. That is like P7 level. So to me, that's where I believe that change also affected me. But in primary school, I also had a low self-esteem because, okay, I started from an average school. Then with time, my dad, he started going to advanced level schools, good private schools, the best in Kenya, because I think I studied with many kids who are children of ministers there. So you can imagine that transition, you're from this, going this level, and they were too bright. Kenyan schools, private schools are for the best students, unlike here. So catching up with syllabus was a problem. Then you go to a good school, catching up, you're already behind, and they're already bright. So it is hard to hit the grades, and there was so much pressure. And I believe many students go through that.
So no consideration was made.
No consideration,
for you, and the fact that you were coming in from an average school,
to
compete with the best,
in the country,
was not considered.
Yes.
Okay, and you just tagged along because
I had to.
Your dad,
yes,
had to go.
In fact, at a young age, I would wake up at 5. He would wake me up at 5, and to revise tables, I could read tables off head from P5. So the pressure was too much. I think because he was also a teacher, so he wanted me to catch up. But sometimes I was really uncomfortable working at that time, but I had to adjust. Then the other thing, also these students, not only academically, but I was studying with children who are very rich. So one or another.
Because these are private schools, obviously.
Exactly.
They are paying in the millions.
Exactly. Very rich families. I was studying with very rich kids. So sometimes it would be hard to fit in.
To relate.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was a problem. So I used to be more...
They were talking holidays in America.
Exactly.
And,
exactly. Some kids even would drive.
Oh,
yes.
They would drive to school.
Yes, the parent sits in, though I think it's illegal, but they drive. So imagine a primary school kid driving, So that affected me, but I have this thing in me, naturally. I like to fight and to excel. So I did my best, and I believe still I performed at a good level.
You must have.
Yes, yes.
You are a software engineer, so you must have.
But there's one thing that I would like to emphasize, and I believe many children are affected by this, and parents should take note, even schools. This habit of grading is not so good. I believe each person has a different level of development and understanding.
We are all intelligent in
exactly,
our own way,
and we have our different callings.
Yes, abilities and strengths.
Exactly. So they had this thing, they would write on the notice board from number 1 to the last one.
That can be heartbreaking,
yes,
that can be heartbreaking. But it is everywhere.
Exactly.
Because even when we were in the university, the people who are getting retakes,
exactly.
The lists would be,
exactly.
The lists would be displayed.
Yes.
So it's a part of life,
yes.
really. Failing publicly. Yes, and winning publicly.
Something else I also observed, many people are undergoing mental health problems. Well, some of these things we do seem so small, but they have huge impacts. In fact, they can lead someone to becoming a different person. You might see someone behaving in a particular way at 40 years, but what caused it is something that happened at 5 year.
Wow. So
yes.
I'm going to cut the long story short and ask you, when was you, how did you, this, I admire the Seventh Day people.
Yes,
they are really very strict with children. Children are brought up in a basic manner. You are not, they are not covetous. You're not into property. You're not into hair or jewelry. Or, I feel that the best family to grow up in would be, a Seventh Day family. So how did you get yourself exposed to this type of lifestyle? When did you take your first, drug? When did you take your first drink? Yes.
One problem I saw, my uncles would drink. Even my dad, probably I'd never seen him, but before that, I'm sure he was drinking too.
Okay.
So now, seeing people drinking used to bring the curiosity in me because they would not hide. So with time, we'd sit with my cousin brother and we say, I wonder how that drink tastes. But they were so watchful of us, so we couldn't get an opportunity. Until one time, my auntie had a wedding, and the leftover alcohol was kept in a store in one of the rooms, and the key locked. But then after some time, I think someone misplaced that key. So as we were playing, we landed on that key, and they were like 3 to 1 door. So we picked out one and hid it. So later we opened that door and entered and started tasting. So we started with the sweetest. It was called Kingfisher. It's a sweet kind of wine. So now that day when we drank.
So this was a leftover?
Yeah, but all brands of alcohol were in there.
Okay, but you started with the leftovers?
Yes. We picked it, drank. In fact, they looked for us for the next 2 days, but they did not know where we were because we blacked out. So we
You blacked out? How old were you?
13.
13, and
Yes.
how much did you drink to black out?
Like I think we drank until, because that time when you're beginning, you can't count. If you're a beginner in alcohol, it just happens.
So you started with the leftovers and then you opened?
Yes.
You opened some new bottles?
Yes. Now we first drank that, then now we started opening. It was a lot of alcohol, including whiskey, all different, like in a wedding, you imagine all that was left. So the next day we woke up, we had people looking for us. It's like there was a rush. No one could suspect we were inside there. So it became a routine. Now we'd sneak out, go in. We finished that entire stock, I think, in 1 month. So we now became
You as the children?
Yes.
So now you started with the sweet, the
sweet one.
The sweet one.
Yeah.
Now how did you graduate to what was not so sweet?
Now with alcohol, it starts with the sweetness, but then there's an effect you get.
Yes.
Now this time, when we drank this semi-bitter, you'd try to endure the taste to get the feeling. So it started slowly. Now the focus was the feeling. That now we would ignore the taste.
Okay,
yes,
all right.
Exactly. Now after
the urge of excitement,
exactly.
a short excitement
Yes.
that dissipates immediately so that you can take more.
Exactly. And slowly with that, to me, I believe it was even helping to calm down my nerves because I believe I was already depressed.
Yes.
Yeah. So we drank it completely and finished it. Now, one time there was a guest who came.
So these people did not realize that their stock had run out?
They realized on one event when there was a party.
Okay.
Guests visited. So my uncle said, you know what, you go and get the alcohol.
my store.
Yes, and it was a lot. Some of it, they were planning to sell it in a Chikubo.
How many boys were you that gurgled down this?
2.
Only 2 boys?
Yes, 2.
And you had exhausted the whole store?
Exactly, 2. And as I speak, we had the same story, kind of addiction story, though in different places. But later I met my brother and also helped him, so he also now quit. But we shall come there.
Okay.
Now, after we drank...
13-year-olds?
Yes.
And you have consumed everything. A store of alcohol?
Everything.
Okay.
We finished it. Now, when my uncle sent the house girl came out screaming, saying everything is finished. Now, this is the time I'm opening up because the people who were beaten were our elder cousins. They could not suspect us, so they called our cousins and beat them seriously, saying they drank the alcohol. So that was the first time we escaped. Now later, we were separated because now I was taken to a boarding school, Gombe.
So how often would you take these drinks? Like every day or once?
No, now there, we only drank because it was there. Okay. But now when I we couldn't come out. So after that, we never drank again.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Until I was taken to Gombe Secondary School. But when I reached there, I became so sickly because the environment was so bad. I would get attacks so much. So that's when they decided I now stay with my auntie. RIP, she died now because she requested to stay with me now. So we're staying in Nansana. In Nansana, there was a place which was called Janina. It's a club, but the house was just nearby. So now when I reached there, they were so strict again. But the driver who used to take me to school used to drink. So whenever I used to get attacks, he takes me to hospital. So without anyone supervising. So he told me, I can be forging these attacks. Then as
you go to drink together.
Yeah, then he can go. He can get access to the car.
Oh.
Yeah, then he goes to club.
Oh.
Yes. So I used to forge attacks. Then he goes to the club. Then me I remain in the car.
Okay. All
and
right.
my gift is a beer.
Okay.
I don't want to mention brands because I'll be advertising.
Okay, all right.
Good.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was a beer, one, but still I would black out. So it shows my brain was still somehow weak. But now it became a routine.
What do you mean blackout? You would fall asleep?
Yeah, you drink and you don't know how you lost consciousness.
How did he take you back? How did he venture to take you back to school?
No, not school. He had to take me back home. So what I would do after there, I now go to hospital.
Okay.
Yes, and I sleep there. Yeah, because private hospitals are about money sometimes.
Okay.
There are times I would know I'm not sick, but when they check you, they say, hey, he's really bad off.
Yes.
So the hospital would never say he's not sick.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yeah, so
they would not. They would
can
not
never say it.
Okay, he's really sick, but this is a hangover
exactly.
of some sort. Okay.
So that's how it happened until they landed into that.
Wow.
So he was fired. Now, when he was fired, they brought another driver.
So how did they? So they knew that you were now.
Yeah,
drunk.
they found out. They found out that he's the one behind my drinking. Now, with time, they bought another driver, and they told him to be tough on me. But the funny thing, the second driver was worse.
Really?
Yeah, he told me, James, I want to teach you some new type of drink. He's the first one who took me to this waraji, the one they measure. In Nansana, somewhere.
Why did he feel that you had to be confident and share his?
I don't know.
They love
those
to
people
have
like
drinking
company.
partners.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. I want you to go there.
Yeah. In fact, if you're an addict,
nobody wants to drink alone.
When I quit, many people got angry.
Oh.
No one wants to be alone. In fact, people prefer to die together.
Okay.
Yes. And imagine I think all these drivers were old enough to be my fathers.
So now he teaches you this new drink.
That new drink, I liked it. It was cheap. The money I used to get for a beer, you get like 5 of this.
What drink was this?
Waraji.
Waraji.
I don't know how it's called the like kasese. The one they real measure like. That time it was like 300 they measure for you. So that one changed my color of eyes. I started getting so much hangovers. Even at school, people would wonder. They would say, this
so now you
preferred
drugs. This because it was cheaper.
Cheap, yes.
And more effective.
Yes, and more effective.
Okay, all right.
Now it reached a time I was even not scared of my auntie.
So you would go and drink with the driver?
Yes.
And
then
you
come
would
back
drink
home.
Uganda Waraji?
Yes.
Whose money? The driver's money?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes I would lie because they would send the money through him.
Oh, so you would lie that you were sick or okay.
Yes. So the money used to come through him. Then we drink, then I go back home. Now imagine Ines to coming back at 1. Now the thing is, I used to come back at 1 and my uncle comes back at 3. That's another uncle. So my uncle would come at 3, knock my window, and then also send me to go and buy for him, Janina.
Oh, then, so the owner of the home, the uncle,
yes,
would come back at 3.
Yes.
And you had come back at 1 drunk with kasese.
Yes.
And then your uncle, who is also a drunkard,
yes,
now is sending you back.
To buy.
Okay.
And he gives me the balance.
Okay.
Now, with the time, my auntie found out that thing out. But before that, she used to tell him, do you know James comes late? He says no. I always find him here. Because whenever she used to lock him out, I'm the one who opens. He used to knock my window. So somehow he used to protect me. Now, S2 went by, then my depression became much because now me and my auntie were always clashing. Because she was also a very strict person and she doesn't understand me. School, I had subjects I don't like. Luganda was compulsory.
Now, how are you coping at school? Having
school was a real problem.
Drinking with your driver, drinking with your uncle, inadvertently.
School was a real problem because even I found bullies. Very big boys, you'd reach and they take your shoes.
But how were you coping academically?
Academically, I was excelling in subjects that I was used to, English and maths. But the other subjects were very new, and subjects were compulsory, German, Luganda. There are other subjects which would work.
So you were excelling again in the transactory subjects.
Exactly.
You need to know how to speak
those simple
to transact.
those basics. Now
simple arithmetic.
Exactly. Now with time, I lost interest in academics because even the teachers, I believe, were not professional. They would tease. Someone says, let me prove to you that not every human being is made in God's image. Then asks a chemistry question and then chooses you. So if you fail, he says, now is that one created in God's image? And you can see that is an attack on my identity already. And some of my group mates are now actually celebrities. But I can't mention names. But there are many in the music industry. There are many. And those are the people who taught me now smoking. Because now I was drinking, then they told me now we shall be escaping. Then we go smoke something. Now later I found out it's called opium. Then and even weed and cigarettes. And remember, I was asthmatic. Yeah, so now that already was a danger. But now with time, they taught me that, you know what, you can still smoke and you'll be fine. So I used to smoke, get an attack, then use an inhaler. So I was always in hospital because of my own, I'm the one causing the sickness. Now, after S2, S3, now I became very stubborn. In the school, I was even known. Those who know me right now, I'm sure I can prove it. Even some in the teaching things. I was very stubborn that even I passed S4, but they did not allow me back because of that. I had recruited so many people in the group. I was the group leader now.
Of the alcoholics?
Yes, because all those people who were there were older than me. So now I was the left one. Not only alcoholics, the stubborn people. Some of them are girls. They were in S2. Now I was in S4, even girls in S2. Many people. And some of these people I'm talking about now died because of this. So there I left. I went now to S5. That was more of a private free school, those things like for international foreigners, Tanzanians, Kenyans. There I felt at home because we would speak Swahili. But that one is more worse because those people, when they are here, no one watches over them. Parents send them a lot of money, so it's all about clubs, partying and all that. So in A level, this is a confession, I'm sure my parents will kill me if they see this, but I only stepped in class to do the exams. That is in A level. Even S5, I was never really in class. I was always outside in the hostel, putting music and drinking. Until the exams, 1 month to exams, when I said it's time to start reading. But of course,
so these drinks and alcohol and drugs and substance abuse, that is all you used to do. They will never cause you to get into
trouble.
Any other type of trouble.
Actually, there are many other things that drugs can bring in. But the advantage I had, I was good at watching out for trouble. Because all my friends used to get in trouble. In fact, all of them, as I say, were expelled. But I was never expelled. Another thing, most of them used to sleep around, and that was a common thing. The advantage I had, that part I wasn't so much into it. Even when my parent was talking, he said, the advantage used to drink to blackout. So for me, when I drink, I used to totally shut down.
Okay,
yes.
All right.
But still, there were problems
Your
with
intention
that.
was to shut down?
Yes.
Okay.
But still, that also landed me in problems. Because at times people would poison my drink, probably to sodomize. There are sometimes you'd go in clubs and then maybe people just put something in your drink, yet it's poisoning. Then others probably would want you, especially those women in clubs, they would poison you probably to sleep with you. But one thing I thank God, I always survived. I would wake up either in between or someone helps you, something like that. But other friends of mine, some never survived, some died, some have children, and I believe some even got the HIV, all that. So now
what you're calling poison is maybe sedating.
Exactly, the sedating. They sedate.
It's for you and for me.
The Jessica Kayanja Show will be right back after this message.
Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Kayanja and this is a viewership alert. I want to appreciate you for tuning into my YouTube channel. But again, I would like to warn you to watch out for an impersonator. There is someone online posing as me and soliciting money. This person has a Nigerian number. Because he's an impositor, his number might change anytime. It could be a Ugandan number, a UK number. That is definitely not me. I do not raise money. I do not raise money on Facebook. I do not raise money on YouTube. I do not solicit funds in the name of interpreting dreams or seeing people in dreams. That is a fraud. And if this person inboxes you and he has my picture and my name, raise an alarm, tell them off, and don't heed to their treachery. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying this program so far. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Pastor Jessica's YouTube channel. Oh, and don't forget to press the notification button so that you're notified whenever we upload a video. Also, you can follow Pastor Jessica on all of her social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the handle of Pastor Jessica Kayanja. If you would like to contact Pastor Jessica Kayanja, please do so on 077-263-1603. And if you'd like to advertise with us, please don't hesitate to let us know. Okay, now let's get back to the show.
You're watching The Jessica Kayanja Show.
And for
So
Now-
what you're calling poison is maybe sedating.
Exactly, the
Okay.
sedating. They sedate. Now, what happens after S6? Here, I'm still having fun. By the way, there's no problem. It's not major problems. After S6 is when I started experiencing some major problems because depression was still increasing.
Despite the
Yes, everything.
the drinking to shut down.
Yes, this depression is the cause of the drinking. The addiction is a symptom. Anyone you see who's an addict, there's a problem. That's why when you're helping a person to quit, you have to go deep. And that's why I told you sometimes you end up finding out that the problem was in P5. But once they find out the problem, then of course they break away with Jesus there. But then after some S6, my depression became so much because I was lacking direction. I felt
I
I
have
lacked
another
purpose.
reason that I would like to tell maybe the young people
Yes,
watching.
yes.
One of the reasons why you get more depressed when
Yes.
you drink is because what these substances, the drugs and the extreme alcohol do is that they tamper with the neurotransmitters.
Yes.
And one of the neurotransmitters, for example, dopamine, is responsible for producing joy.
True.
And relaxation and a feeling of reward. But what it does is that it exaggerates that for a minute,
Yes.
and then drops it.
Subsides. Now I realized you know this thing well.
Yes, so at the
Yes.
moment where it drops, you feel I must take again
Very
to get
well.
that high.
Exactly.
Whereas, we people who don't drink are at a constant.
Yes.
When you are unhappy, okay, I'm unhappy, and then you're happy, it's not too much,
Yes.
but then it doesn't drop drastically.
Yes, yes.
So that is the reason why people drink to feel happy and then feel worse, or
Exactly.
take drugs to feel happy
Exactly.
and feel actually it's more the drugs that do that.
Exactly.
Where they'll throw you up at a high and then throw you at a low, so that you have to
Yes.
take all the time to go back to the high that
The
you
higher
will be
it
able to
takes you,
sustain.
the lower you go.
Yes, yes.
What you have said is very true because that dopamine feeling
Yes.
is what everyone looks for.
Yes, yes.
Once
I
you
know.
get it, that's why an addict is never satisfied. Today I may
Yes.
take 5 bottles. Tomorrow 5 bottles don't bring the same feeling that I am
Yes,
looking for.
Yes, and they bring a greater low.
Exactly, a
Because
greater low.
they are formulated to throw a slight
Exactly.
high and a greater low so that you
Low.
can go back and purchase.
Exactly. And this also means sometimes you have now to go outside and look now for the drug because the alcohol is not enough. So that's why people go into drugs. You drink and feel there's something still lacking.
Yes,
So
yes.
each time you go, you want to go higher
Yes,
and
yes,
higher.
yes.
That's why it can never stop. It's something till the grave. Now, but one thing I want you to know is that every addict is sad. That is the truth. They are sad.
And every addict of everything.
Yes, on
the sex
anything,
addicts,
yes.
the drug addicts, they're all sad.
Behind it is sadness, emptiness, hopelessness, depression, lack of identity, and the biggest lack of purpose.
Yes.
Because if you don't know your identity, you don't know your purpose.
Yes.
Especially in God. Because people have noticed, all the people who have beat addiction that I've met are the ones who accepted God. Others failed. They would push a year and still go back. So now, my problem became identity related. So I used to drink. Actually, I started performing in clubs because now it was hard now for me to fit at home, so I ran away. Still while studying. So I was doing my software engineering, but with some friends in Machindi. And we had many clubs there, Isabella, where...
And what were you performing?
Music, I would write music.
write and
Rap
sing.
music, yeah. I was good at rapping. So I write rap music, then some friends of mine realized me, then they took me to the studio. Then I started performing in Club Silk. Every Tuesday it was campus night. That became now a lifestyle. But now everything got worse because that place, it was a gathering of every addict. Because this guy, his mom was abroad and used to send him money. So now for him, he made the house a party place. Most of these people who even sell drugs to these musicians used to come there. So it was a place day and night. Even reading was a problem. So I used to wake up at probably 10 to midnight to read. Then after that, I would go to the club to perform. My performance was liked in the clubs, and even I almost got many managers. I got to meet many popular musicians. And each time I was going deeper, deeper, deeper. So even I got managers, but I don't want to mention names. So, but after some time, at home they were fighting music. You know, Seventh-day Adventists.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, they are so extremist that.
But you know, they are very good singers.
Yes, they are good singers.
Yes, very good singers. When a Seventh-day sings a note, it's a
they are very good.
It's not, not pretending. But I think they love basic. Yes,
they don't basic. They don't allow
organic, you know, not
and
drums,
fixed.
Yes, and fixed.
For example, I noticed most songs are sung in the hymn books.
Yes.
But what I saw with the Born Again, one person can come up with a song inspired by the Holy Spirit, and everyone will sing it.
Yes.
Because I believe even those songs were created in that time by someone else. So even we have to accept the music which is sung now. And we have to use all types of gifts because God gives us His gifts for a reason. So someone may be
all songs are from the hymn book.
Yeah, that's what I see in church.
The best, okay, all right.
Yes, majority.
The ones that are sung
in church.
Okay.
And I had a problem with it personally because I felt
but they are Seventh-day Adventists, like singers coming up now.
Yes, now I think it's slowly turning. But I had a problem because I had no place. I knew I would never perform because my type of talent is not acceptable. In fact, it is seen as those hooligans, the thugs, rapping and all that kind of music. So, and even there's a particular dress code you have to put on to be seen as a person who's at church. So you can't put on like a t-shirt, you have to tuck. It was a really problem. But then after some time, for me, I decided now to be a rebel. It's like being a rebel. So I was doing what I was doing and my parents were against it. So my mom was reporting to my dad, that boy has become spoiled. So I said, it's okay. That's why I kept on running away. Now, some of the events that used to happen, there's a time I drank. Now I started losing my mind. When I drink, I'll do something crazy that is out of the ordinary. Even people would say there's something different. Because there's a time I drank, then it was that street of High Table, if you remember Pioneer Mall. And I wanted to just go down there to the old park, but I decided to jump in because I saw it is a shorter route. But you can imagine jumping over those sharp metals, and then you land very deep. And it was a very...
You jumped over the sharp metals?
I just jumped.
Pioneer Mall.
For me, I would say it's just a distance like from here to there. So I jumped. I almost broke myself. I'm already...
You mean that Pioneer Mall fence?
Yes, from this upper side near Mapera, I jumped inside.
You jumped into Pioneer Mall? Wow.
And as you're there, you're stuck down. The Askaris thought it's a break-in because it was 2 a.m. They started hitting me with the guns, this thing.
You saw a short fence?
Yes.
Wow.
So they were planning to real shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, and then one of them said, don't shoot. This guy looks like a student. So I pulled out the ID and some money which I had. Then they called police of CPS, which took me to CPS. So I spent 2 days there, CPS. Then the other thing is when I hit glass, actually I started developing a bad anger. I would punch the wall until this part becomes meat and blood. Because of anger, so there they realized that instead of helping me in a good way, they called police on me. So I was put in Old Kampala police with real criminals. And now I got even worse because now in the jail, the people I meet there now are even worse. I made even more networks of people who are in drugs and all that. But that thing traumatized me because putting someone in jail makes them worse, not better. Because up to now, I still try to get over that. And that opened up a series of problems because now I was always going in jail. It's like they opened something spiritual. I was always in jail, police arrest you here. Then another one is when I was drinking, and this is what I was told, that I went with a stool and hit this part down and like died because they said I was not breathing. Everyone ran out of the bar.
But you don't remember?
I don't remember anything. Actually, that's a funny story because urine is what saved me. Yeah, because there's a girl who used to meet there. She used to work in some corporate company. So I blacked out when I was talking with her. And they said that urine of the opposite sex is what helps. So if you're a lady, it's a urine of a man. Then if you're a man, it's a urine of a lady.
That helps do what?
That to resurrect someone from that kind of coma.
Is that scientifically proven?
I do not know, but in the drinking, in the addiction circles,
in the addiction
that's
circles.
what happens.
Oh my goodness! Oh no!
I hear they gave me like 3 glasses of urine, and that's how I came back to life. But when I woke up, I wanted to fight those people because I told them, "How can you give me urine?" So those are part of the funny kind of things that happened.
How do you now come to realize that this is not where I am meant to
now, but the extreme events started happening. I've survived 5 mob justice attempts because there's one border guys just surrounded me, and each one was coming. They come off with stones and to hit. Actually, they injured my brother's eye, but one or another, God saved me from that. Another one happened in Kabalagala. In fact, that club, to me, I believe we really need to pray for it. It was called Deuces. Because that place, they almost killed me, and I'd done nothing.
And it is, I think I've seen it. It's a small
yes,
joint.
it's a small place, but it has destroyed very many people. So I entered with my money, but the problem I had, I used to, when I have little money, I just spend anyhow, until the last coin, even transport. So I would even buy for people. Now instead, these people took me out and forged, because I hear that club, bags are not allowed in.
But it's, it's amazing how the Degbo orchestrates things.
Yes, yes.
That the understanding, the fellowship between substance abusers and drunkards, the desire to die for someone.
Exactly.
It would be rare to find that in church.
Yes, exactly.
And Satan has orchestrated an atmosphere of, I am among people that love me, that understand me, that can give me urine when I pass out, and all that type of thing.
I thank you so much for that point. I survived that mob justice thing, but this time they were hitting me. Everyone who was coming was hitting. They were saying a thief, and I was put with real thieves. Now, that's when I said my first serious prayer. I told God, if you save me from this situation, I will get born again. Now, I saw someone appear. That's why to me I say it's an angel. But whenever I used to drink, I used to see angels, like 2 angels. One stands here and one with swords, like for protection. Yeah, so I used to tell people when I'm drinking, then they say, your drugs have gone. James, every time his drugs are getting worse. He needs rehab. But these angels were not, I was not imagining.
I see angels and
that
with
was
swords.
One thing I can prove, that was not imaginary. Though I used to have other problems of even imagining, but that one was real. Because whenever I used to pray, that thing happens, like an angel appears. So I was saved. But again, from there I was put on a pickup to Kabalagala police station. That was on a Sunday. And it was so crowded, and it had these people.
Wait a minute, I need to go back on something.
Yeah.
When you used to drink, you would see angels standing by you for protection. Had you heard of angels before?
No, but I would see, just like the way I used to, when you grow up and they say angels exist. But for me, I would see like white people in white, people in white robes, but I can't tell the face. But even you feel there's someone.
Do you believe that this was God's way of using hallucinations to show you that He exists?
Yes.
And He cares for you?
Yes. And actually, to prove they were not hallucinations, so I still see them. I still see them now.
Right.
Yes. And they've helped me. This is one thing that I'm going to still, where I'm going, you'll understand. So I think God was starting to appear to me. Now, from there, I survived it, but where I was taken was worse, because it was in a Sunday. The prison was crowded with the most dangerous criminals. In fact, they had stripped me naked one wanted to sodomize me in the toilet.
What?
Yeah, then I prayed. After praying, I told God, if I leave this jail today, I'm going to get born again. Same day. The people even wondered. The police officer said, James, you come out. And police never works on Sunday. But there I left without shoes, without the belt. I had to walk up to Munyonyo, so I pretended to be a mad person because people would wonder. I went to a friend's place, blacked out there, then went back home.
Just give us a brief on how you got how God came in and,
All right.
and how you got healed
Now,
in just 5 minutes.
All right, this is how God came in. I was drunk, then I found a 77 Days magazine, Days of Glory, on my bed. Then I found out later it was my sister who went to a saloon, and the barber there is a member of Miracle Center. So he gave it to her. And then my sister gave it to my brother. They all had no interest. So my brother, because he didn't care, he threw it on my bed. Now I came when I was high, I found the magazine there. But it amazed me because I was seeing so many people. I said, I've never seen such a large gathering before. But still I kept the magazine. Now the next day when I was sober, I said, I have to go to this place and see how it looks. But I came with a lot of mixed reactions because I knew godly things are not really good. So I reached here, I came with my friends. There's a long story how I came. And I told them, I'm going to sleep because I've never done overnight sober. But when the pastor comes, you wake me up. Because
you were not sober?
Yes. I said I want to see him with my eyes. Then they told me, what? James is coming. And today the miracle, which is there, he's passing where you're seated. He didn't go the usual route I hear. So he passed in front of me like this, but there were so many people. So they told me he's coming, but I didn't know who he is exactly because there were so many surrounding. Then when he passed me, I felt something in my spirit that changed. Now I find out it's the Holy Spirit. So I started getting the desire to come to church. That same day, the pastor stood ahead there and said, what? Everyone with drugs in the pocket, stand up. And the funny thing, we had things in our pockets. But for me, I didn't know others had. Then he repeated. People said, when a man of God speaks, these other people respect him because they knew him. So we stood. Then he said, come in front. I said, now this is serious. We might even land in trouble. So we went in front. Then he said, put the things down. So we started removing. I put everything, but I'd left something. Then
a little bit for yourself.
Yes. Then he said, there's someone who has remained with something, put it. I even was amazed. My brother also picked. By the time we left, we had put everything. Then he prayed. He said a prayer against addiction. After there, I think it's you who came. There's something you said, up to now it stands out and I use it. People can come in a crowd, but very few people receive Jesus, the miracle. You even said it because people are not concentrating. Then you told them, don't focus on someone who you have come with. Because in this whole crowd, Jesus can visit only 1 or 2 people. And the funny thing, that day he had visited me because all these people remained the same and they are the ones who had brought me. I'm the one who quit.
Praise God.
Yes.
Did you heal as soon as you had an encounter in church, or was it a process?
So after I left this place, I went to some woman who used to be our neighbor, but she was born again. So I felt comfortable there. It was in Entebbe side. She used to prophesy and said, James, you will quit this addiction and help others. So I went with this, and she's the one who told me, if you go to Kayanja's church, you'll be delivered. So something happened. This is the first time I realized I've quit. We went to a beach where we used to drink. That whole territory, all those people are addicts. It's an area problem. So I was going to drink, but this time I felt discouraged. So I told these people, you go and buy, let me first go down to the water. This is the first time I'm sharing this testimony publicly. So as I was going towards the water, a white bird appeared. And that white bird came and sat on my hand. Publicly, everyone saw it. So I sat, but I think
this time you had professed Christ, but
yes.
you were going to drink.
Yes, there was something still there. So I think I fell in a bit of a trance because I would have also noticed that it's an abnormal act. But I think I was like talking to the bird, and people observed it, even the fishermen around. Then they said, that guy there must be having a lot of blessings because that bird, first of all, is rare. It doesn't go near people. So people were gathering to see who I am, including my brothers. They didn't know I'm the one with the bird because they came down. Now later on, something else happened which is funny. The bird died in my hand. Now people started taking off. I said, this guy now is a very weird person. Now I was very sad because I was wondering why the bird has died. That audible voice came back to me and told me, that prayer request I've been hearing, I've sent the bird to take away your addiction. Now that's why it has died. For you, you will not drink again. Now I'm showing you the stubborn spirit. I told this guy, you know, I had to bring alcohol. So when I drank, the taste was different. I drank again, I told these people, you bought expired alcohol. My stories have so many witnesses because they've seen it. I told them, let's buy another type. Same thing, every drink, I started drinking from then on. Stopped. In fact, right now, if I smell alcohol, I can even vomit. And it's not only alcohol that went, every other problem. I no longer go to club. I can no longer listen to some music. There are some companies that went off naturally. Alcohol, drug, everything just disappeared. Now, this is the part I was telling you, the problem I faced when I got born again. There is where now you feel you're lost. You're in two worlds. You don't fit here and you don't fit here. Because this world is a very new world. And this is a very sad part. Christians are not welcoming.
Cannot relate.
They are not even welcoming.
They are not welcoming, yes.
And I've noticed that more in church than in the clubs. Because in clubs, it's easy. Once you enter, you join in your family. Now here you'd come at probably, I'm not meaning this church, but I'm meaning I've noticed it because remember what I do, I move churches, different places. It's just the body of Christ generally. They would not really take you in, especially if you have not been saved for long. And there's a time I testified something and it was actually against me. Because I spoke such a testimony and people said, avoid that guy, he's kind of conversations. But actually, there's this time I spoke this thing and it actually brought me to be recognized at the Global Leadership Summit. That is in California, but it's a Christian organization. They liked what I do. They even held a summit in Serena. I was actually the main event. I was recognized. I think even many religious leaders were there. It was, one of the people who was there is Bishop Luere. He's among the people who lead that thing. I was recognized, it's even on Google. That's when people now started associating with me a bit. But you'd speak in a cell and people avoid you. They start, that guy's a wrong guy. Now, I had to persevere and be saved by myself. So I used to come at church. MADS was a good program. I said at least now I saw something I like, music. So I never used to miss MADS until I started writing now Christian music. I had to go to YouTube, delete all the bad music. Then I wrote a song. One time I was lucky, I got a chance to perform on the MADS. Then from there, now people started somehow seeing me like at least a born again person. But still it took me very long to be accepted. Yeah, and sometimes even still now, the past still follows us. And most of the people who I speak on behalf feel uncomfortable in church because they are judged. Yes. So this is an issue probably you are the leaders need to help.
Yeah, the church needs to address.
Yes. There are so many issues that the church can help, but they are not seeing it. Yes. The church is highly needed in this field of youth and addiction. Now, one thing which I lack, and I've not been helped. There's a platform I went and spoke. It was the Rotary Club. Many big people in government were there. But when I spoke, I was not taken positively because I spoke God. People wanted me to speak my testimony, but not say God is the reason I recovered. So I had to praise institutions. Yeah, so I said my story is not complete if God is not in it. Secondly, I was not supposed to speak like addiction is bad. In a way, I was supposed to water down my testimony because some of those people there owned the companies. So they refused to sponsor my things. But one thing which I feel I require, because I've used now social media, I do podcasts and YouTube. The one thing I feel the youth are lacking is a program specifically on addiction and lifestyle choices, which needs a lot of connections to probably get on TV. Sometimes even, imagine they say, you have to pay to come and help speak for the youth. So for me, what I think, we need such a program. And if such a program is available, I'll be willing to take part in it.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
yes. I'm going to make sure, because we have never tackled addictions as a whole, but the way you bring it out is amazing. And I feel that there are so many addictions, even within the church.
Yes, it is.
If it's not pornography, it is perversion. If it's not perversion, it
even
is
drugs. I've helped some people in church circles who serve, but they're on drugs.
But they're on drugs. If it's not drugs, it's alcohol.
Exactly.
So I feel that should be addressed in the church.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. That is such a powerful story.
Yes.
And have you thought of deciding to help the youth?
Yes, that's what I embarked on.
You have a program?
Yes.
Can you just give the viewers
I started
your telephone number?
an NGO. It's called My Beat Community Youth.
Oh, yes, that's
Uganda.
the t-shirt you're wearing.
Beat Addiction Today.
Yes.
Outside there, I'm commonly known in the youth circles as Jamesboy Imani. And I reach out to rehabs, community. Actually, all people that have met me have quit. That is a record.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So how do parents who have children that are fighting addiction get with, you know?
I think I can read my number, probably.
Please. Yes, please.
There is 0755 20 24 19 and 0785 20 24 19.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is the God of a second chance.
Yes.
And if you are struggling with addiction today, Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, He knows the plans He has for you. Plans to bring you prosperity and not disaster. Plans to bring you the future that you hope for. Call this young man and discover your destiny through Christ. May God bless you. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so
for
much.
tuning in. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this program. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Pastor Jessica's YouTube channel. Oh, and don't forget to press the notification button so that you're notified whenever we upload a video. Also, you can follow Pastor Jessica on all of her social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the handle of Pastor Jessica Kayanja. If you would like to contact Pastor Jessica Kayanja, please do so on 077-263-1603. And if you'd like to advertise with us, please don't hesitate to let us know.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Jessica's channel so you don't miss a single video or live stream. And please like and share this video with a friend. Thanks again for watching.